It's a new year, a new journey. God is calling you to step into uncharted territory with faith and boldness. Hey, welcome back. Before we jump into teaching today, I want you to do something with me real quick. Just imagine you're placing a tiara on your head. Go ahead. Yep, right there. Not because we're playing dress up, but because it's a reminder of who you are. You are a daughter of the King, crowned with purpose, power, and potential. You see, around here, we talk about having a tiara attitude. That means being tenacious and passionate, authentic, radical, and anointed. And it's not just cute, it's kingdom. It's how we show up in the world as women who walk in our identity, even when life throws challenges our way. And today, we're stepping into the story of two bold men who had their own version of a tiara attitude as they faced danger, darkness, and destiny head on in the city of Jericho. You ready? Let's go! Hey friend, can I ask you something? When was the last time you truly slowed down? Like, really pressed pause and just sat with God? If you're anything like me, life gets busy. The to-do list never seems to end, and before you know it, the day is gone. But here's the thing. God invites us into stillness. He longs to meet us in the quiet and refresh our souls. This is why I want to give you a special gift, totally free. It's a 5-day Bible study called Quiet Moments, Embracing Stillness with God. And I would love to send it straight to your inbox. This Bible study is designed to help you step away from the noise and lean into God's presence, with daily scriptures, reflections, and guided prompts to help you experience His peace in a fresh new way. And guess what? There's a special bonus just for you. At the end of the Bible study, you will find a little something extra, but you have to sign up to find out what it is. All you have to do is sign up for our Dawson Ministries email list, no strings attached. You will get encouragement, biblical insights, and exclusive content designed to help you live boldly in your faith. So, are you ready to embrace quiet moments with God? Just click the link, sign up, and let us journey together towards deeper peace and purpose. Don't wait. Your quiet moment with God is waiting for you. Sign up today, and I'll see you inside. So here's the scene. The Israelites are on the edge of a brand new beginning after 40 years of wandering. God is about to fulfill His promise. But first, they must face Jericho, a walled fortress standing tall and proud between them and the land flowing with milk and honey. So we're going to read, starting in Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. Then Joshua secretly sent out 2 spies from the Israel camp to Acacia Grove. He instructed them, scout out the land on the other side of the Jordan River, especially around Jericho. So the 2 men set out and came to the house of the prostitute named Rahab and stayed there that night. So we talked about Rahab last week, and man, what a story she had. That wonderful, beautiful story of redemption, the same story that God has for us, that Jesus Christ did for us. He gave His life to redeem us and to set us free. And that was Rahab's story, which is a beautiful story. But today I want to talk about the 2 spies because they have a lot to say. Joshua knew this wasn't just a physical obstacle. This was a spiritual test. So instead of charging in, he sends 2 spies to scout out the land. Now these men, they were stepping into enemy territory where getting caught meant certain death. It wasn't just dangerous, it was a death wish. But here's what I love. They said yes anyway. That, my friend, is the start of a very great faith story. And yes, in the face of risk. Man, isn't that beautiful? So here was his faithful obedience. So let's zero in on this for a minute. Joshua gave the order, and these men obeyed. Not a list of questions, not bargaining, just action. That is what faith-filled obedience looks like. Obedience doesn't need to see the full map before taking the first step. Obedience is not about knowing the end. It's about trusting God with the in-between. And isn't that where we live most days, in the in-between? Maybe God is calling you to a new place, a new purpose, or even to speak up when it feels safer to stay quiet. Obedience says, God, you know what? I trust you more than I trust my own comfort. That's how a woman with a tiara attitude lives, tenacious and trusting. But this was a big step. This was scary. Have you ever faced anything like that? Have you ever stepped out and just kind of blind faith? You know, it's scary. I have a couple instances. One of the biggest ones in my life, I'd gotten laid off my job, a job I'd had for 10 years. I had no idea what I was going to do. I worked for the financial industry in banking. And what was crazy is the bank I'd worked for 10 years had gotten bought out. And they didn't need my position. And so they were going to lay me off, which, I get it. I understand. Although I could do other positions. We won't go there. But anyway, so I was facing this, and two other banks in my area had also been bought out and had been laying off. So all of us who were in the banking industry for so long, that's all we felt like we knew, were facing an industry saturated job search, and we couldn't find it. I mean, I couldn't. And I was like, what am I going to do, Lord? And he said, you know what? You're going to Colorado. I lived in North Carolina. I was like, no, I'm not leaving my home, my family, everything I know to move to a place I had never even visited. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it's great, but I'm not going to Colorado. And he kept saying, yeah, you're going to go to Colorado. You're going to go to Charis Bible College. And it was the scariest, most awesome thing I'd ever done in my life. And it was so fulfilling. I lived out there for 3 years, did 3 years of Bible college out there, got to work for the ministry. And man, it was just, like I said, it was just the most wonderful, most scariest, most beautiful thing I'd ever done in my life. And I stepped out in obedience, not knowing what it was going to bring me. I mean, I literally packed up and left in about a month and a half, rolled out the day before Thanksgiving, pulled into Colorado on Thanksgiving Day, had my Thanksgiving meal at Burger King because nothing else was open when we were traveling on the way. And I rolled into a place I had never seen, an apartment I had rented by looking online, and the day after Thanksgiving rolled up from the school and had my orientation. So it was crazy, but it was wonderful. So stepping out in obedience, man, I can't encourage you enough to don't question God so much. Just do it. That's the thing with obedience. It's step one. Step one. What's your first step? It's real faith. It takes boldness. These spies, these two guys, they didn't tiptoe around. They moved boldly. They entered Rahab's house. They made a plan, and they faced the risk of discovery. And we read in Hebrews 11:31, by the faith the prostitute Rahab was not killed with those who were disobedient. God used this woman with a past to secure a promise. Rahab's courage and theirs became part of the redemption story. And let me tell you, bold faith is contagious. When you stand in courage, someone else finds their voice. When you move forward, someone else sees what's possible. So let me ask you, where is God asking you to be bold? What Jericho is in the front of you that you've been circling in fear instead of stepping in faith? This is where the R in that TR I was talking about, radical, comes in. Radical faith does not wait for comfort. It walks in calling. So we're going to continue reading chapter 2, verse 2. But someone told the king of Jericho, some Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent orders to Rahab, bring out the men who have come into your house, for they have come here to spy out the whole land. And Rahab had hidden the 2 men, but she replied, "Yes, the men were here earlier, but I didn't know where they were from. They left the town at dusk, and the gates were about to close. I don't know where they went. If you hurry, you can probably catch up with them." Actually, she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them beneath the bundles of flax she had laid out. So the king's men went looking for the spies among the road leading to the shallow crossings of the Jordan River. And as soon as the king's men had left, the gate of Jericho was shut. I'm just going to stop here for a minute. So, like I said, these 2 spies, they were stepping out in faith. They were first they had to cross a rushing river. This was springtime. The river was just flowing, so they had to find a place. They had to be some pretty strong swimmers. And so they had to find a place to cross. They crossed over. They came into a prostitute's house. This is not somewhere that the men of God hang out, but it was a safe place for them. That I really believe the Holy Spirit probably led them there. And so the king had heard about these 2 men that were spying out the land. I'm sure they stuck out, because they were strangers in the land. And but I think it's interesting that the king sent some soldiers after them. Why? Because he was frightened. Why was he frightened? Well, remember what I said? Being bold and courageous is contagious. I mean, here's Rahab. She's stepping up and saying, "Hey, the men weren't here." She's lying to them. She's keeping them safe. She's coming up with a plan. "I'm going to keep you safe. You're going to keep me and my family safe." We talked about that last week. But what's amazing to me is the king of Jericho was scared to death of the Israelites. Why? Because he heard some things. He heard some things. He heard about the Israelites leaving. He heard about what had happened in Egypt. He had heard about them being let out into their land. He had heard that their God had given them this land, and he was afraid. We're going to lose out. So maybe if I get these 2 spies and go ahead and kill them, I can stop this right here and now. But praise God that he had a different plan. But it just goes to show you that stepping out, as all of these Israelites did, stepping out in faith, leaving Egypt, everything they knew, everything that they felt comfortable with, stepping out of their comfort zone, wandering the wilderness for 40 years, and, making, they were making some waves. They were ready to just turn this world around and upside down. And that's what these people were afraid of. They knew some things were going to happen. And they knew that their God was going to come out victorious. And that's just what happened. Jump down with me to verse 24. And it says, okay, let's jump back to 21, chapter 2, verse 21. This is Rahab saying, "I accept your terms." The Israelites are saying that 2 spies are saying they're going to leave. They said, "Put the scarlet rope in the window." And the verse 22 says, "The spies went up into the hill country and stayed there for 3 days. The men who were chasing them searched everywhere along the road, but they finally returned without success. Then the 2 spies came down from the hill country, crossed the Jordan River, reported to Joshua all that had happened to them. And the Lord has given us the whole land," they said, "for all the people in the land are terrified of us." Woo! God had gone ahead of them. The enemy was already afraid. The land was already shifting. And all it took was 2 willing hearts and a whole lot of trust. Ladies, hear me. Your faith does something. It moves heaven. It shifts the atmosphere. Your yes is not just for you. It may be a catalyst for breakthrough for your family, for your workplace, for your ministry. So I want to leave you with this. What is your Jericho? What is the one thing, the one bold step God is calling you to take? It might be something that feels so small. Starting a conversation, sending an email, saying yes when you'd rather hide. Maybe it's something like starting a business, starting a ministry, stepping into that calling. Or it could be something like just sharing your story. Whatever it is, start with obedience. Walk in boldness and trust that the God who goes before you has already made a way. So put on your tiara today. Be tenacious, be impassioned, be authentic, radical, and know that you're anointed. Drop a comment below. What bold move is God calling you to make? And if this has encouraged you, like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a chance to grow in your faith. So until next time, keep your head up high, your heart surrendered, and your tiara shining. Love you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. See you in the next one.